All right, the GTX 960 is upon us. This is the ASUS GTX 960 STRIX edition. It's got the DirectCU 2 cooler. It's got the fancy faceplate on the back. Faceplate, backplate. The STRIX is about 8.5 inches from the bracket all the way to the farthest point on the shroud. And sorry, everybody in the metric system, I know it's superior. I just found this laying in the floor and measured it, and it's only inches. Someone in the comments will do the conversion. If you guys want to find out everything there is to know about the GTX 960, we're talking like the dynamic super resolution MFA that's coming out very soon from NVIDIA, go take a look at the video on our main channel. We're gonna, do some benchmarks. We're gonna put this in a system in SLI, benchmark it that way as well, and then compare it to the performance of the 970. In this one, we're just going to talk about the ASUS GTX 960 STRIX edition. The GPU clock on this is 1253, and that is overclocked from the base clock of 1126 out of the factory. Also, the boost goes up to 1317 versus 1178 for the stock clock. So also, you can overclock this on your own. It's extremely easy to overclock. I think the ceiling may be the fact that there's only one 6-pin PCI Express power connector as opposed to an 8-pin, but it's still, you can still overclock it just fine. And you know what you can do? You can even go into like GPU tweak, add an extra 100 megahertz, click, apply, and you're done. You don't even have to change the power. It'll work just fine. And we were able to clock this up to 1453. That's with the boost clock and running in Valley. We have 3 display port. We also have an HDMI 2.0 and a dual link DVI port. Now this thing can support 4 4K monitors, so it's really ready for the future. DirectX 12 as well, and it can also support 5K. So the other thing that's really nice about this, the temperatures and the sound. These fans are really quiet, whisper quiet, and they don't even come on, until you get. I mean, if you're playing like League, I bet this, or World of Warcraft or a game like that, the fans are probably never even going to come on. So you have to really tax this card to get the fans to come on. So in Valley, we ran it for a few runs just to see how hot it was going to get, and clocked from ASUS, it got up to 58 degrees, and that's with the fans on auto. And then if we turn it up to 1453, it still ran at 58 degrees Celsius because the auto fans, they compensated a little bit. And the fans only sped up by like 30 RPM. It went from like 1330 to 1356 or something like that. So I didn't really notice any difference whatsoever in sound. So very easy to overclock just with a few clicks of a button. If you guys are accustomed to, going into your games and maxing them out and running a ton of filters, well, this is probably not the right card for you because the 2 gigabyte frame buffer just cannot handle MSAA, running at max settings and all that kind of thing. However, you can max out most games and then turn the filters off or turn them down, and it runs beautifully. So that's how I've benchmarked this card, because I think that's more of a real world scenario here. Test bench we're using EVGA-X99 classified. We also have the the crazy Intel Extreme 8 core on there. We've got 32 gigabytes of G.skill, Ripjaws 4 memory on there. Stuff's awesome. I'm putting it on there right now, but it's probably going to go into my next system coming up. We got the V8 from Cooler Master. It's a bit loud, but it stays nice and cool. I got the HyperX 3K from Kingston as our SSD. We're running an old Velociraptor just as extra storage in the system. It's just there for games and whatnot. And then we have the 1000 watt fractal Newton power supply. So you can see Valley there, 1440p, not really doing so hot. And we just ran Valley with the filters and everything. We probably shouldn't have, but that's the way it works. I wanted to be able to compare it to the 970 at 1080p. It's not so good, 35, but the minimum kept dropping down. So yeah, it's okay. It's okay, guys. BioShock though, we maxed it out, and at 1440p and at 1080p it was extremely playable and smooth and just freaking lovely. Yeah, it got so fast that if your monitor is only 60 hertz, you're gonna have to worry about screen tearing and that sort of thing, unless you have a G-Sync monitor, in which case you'll be quite happy with it. Lichdom is a CryEngine 3 game, so I wanted to try that one out. And at 1440p, it's right around 30. It's like in console mode because it's somewhere between 25 and 30. So yeah, if you're on a console, that's what you got, so you pretend it's good, but if you're on a PC, that ain't good, man. 1080p, however, extremely playable, never dropped below 44, and the average was around 50. So we tried out Thief using the canned benchmark that comes with it. 1440p, not really playable, but at 1080p, it almost dropped down too low, but it actually is completely playable, maxed out at 1080p. Never went below 31, but it was all the way up to 47. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, it's an Unreal Engine game, and it's beautiful. Looks like a PC game should look. The secret here with this game is that you have to turn off the filters. And I even turn them off when I'm running a 980 or a 970 in here, just because I like the crazy performance. And on a decent monitor, like a 27-inch 1440p monitor, I don't really notice much of a difference with the filters on. In fact, sometimes it looks a little blurry, whereas the pixel density is high enough that it looks pretty good without filters on. So I keep the filters really low or turn them off in most of my games. But anyway, Vanishing of Ethan Carter ran beautifully at 1440p and really, really nicely at 1080p. So quite happy with the Vanishing of Ethan Carter on this card. And that's good news for people who like Unreal Engine games. Trying to, we left this one maxed out. I just wanted to see how much we could tax this card. And at 1440p, barely playable. If you turn the filters, back down to just, minimal or turn them off, it runs completely beautifully at 1440p and looks fine to me. At 1080p, you can leave the filters on it. It plays at a consistent 50 just about the entire time, so it's nice. Now, Max Payne 3. Now, here's the deal. NVIDIA has some new sampling technology coming out. It's MFAA. They have MSAA right now. MSAA is way too expensive. I do not run it. A lot of people out there test their games with it. I don't even like testing games with it. I think it's just no. But MFAA is supposed to correct a lot of those problems, and there's a lot of games out there that already support it. It is about the same quality and about half as expensive as far as computations go. Max Payne 3 does not support it. It's one of the only games that has MSAA that does not support MFAA. So I just turned off MSAA and ran a test with everything else pretty much maxed out. 1080p and 1440p, both beautiful. And this game looks great even on this card, so that worked fine. Tessellation, we turned that on. And again, 1080p and 1440p are both extremely playable. We did take about a 30 FPS hit at 1080p, but and that's not quite as much as we took at 1440p, but still both are just so playable that it doesn't matter. So there you have it for the benchmarks. I do like this card. Just remember, turn off your filters. That's the rule. So that's the ASUS GTX 960 STRIX edition. And yeah, if you guys want to see like the bigger picture, like I said, go check out the video on the main channel. I've been trying not to get into too many of the details because it's all going to be in that video, and I'm just focusing on this card here. I do like this card quite a bit. I'm probably actually going to swap it into that machine behind me, which is the capture rig, just because it's nice and quiet. The fans don't even come on for a while. Just wish it had a little bit more RAM, but so I mean, for the money, you do get a lot of power. Just wish it had a larger frame buffer, but then you're talking about like a price hike, and then just get a 970 if you really need all those filters. Whatever. See you guys elsewhere, somewhere else. Bye.